God, Salamas runs near 3 here. Let's hit that motherfucking shit. Oh, so I had to come up here. I didn't know that. Yeah, so that's the only way you can get travel updated. My bad. We'll call storage advance. All characters will be called to take part in 3 team battle. Sure victory, prepare all party members for as much as possible. Press all desired upgrades with phantasmal stars. Better fucking start voice acting. I don't want to feel like reading all this shit. Better. Don't touch my drink, please. I made it out of his way. Okay, no voice acting. Literally, fuck you guys. It would have been in your best interest to leave me be. Then we'll have to disagree. We're glad that we can finally reach you. Do you want us to keep referring to you as a first OZ, or do you ever prefer to go by another name? I have no name. I'm not Kia, nor am I in Orion. I'm nothing, have nothing, so it has always been. I'm an empty shell, born 500 years ago and gone without a trace before I would leave a single mark on this world. The same is true even now. I was suddenly recreated without knowing why, but as I watched this world slowly converge for me as a score, I quickly realized what Lisa was hoping to accomplish. So it's true, Lisa is the reason you came to exist here at all. So you seem to be more than just a simple recreation that once was. In fact, the LC series was designed in order to sort the end, and that wouldn't serve any purpose now that the great twilight has passed. Yet, if we've learned anything, it's that at least always realizes something for a reason, so you must have a purpose, bitches. I can only think of one other possibility. Her appearance, how I could not at least a response from us. She was chosen because of how similar she is to Kia. In other words, she was the first iteration of the being created to be the Zero Child. Wait, you can't be serious. This is where all possibilities ultimately lead. The far reaches the world. There are faint traces of one such concept still here. A being that once lamented the tragedies of their own making so dearly, and resolved their own causality vanishing from this world. A fragment of fate so small that no one should even be able to detect it. A fragment of fate. A being that dissolved their causality. When Elysium was corrupted, it achieved the impossible. By calculating that being's existence and realizing them, it hoped in doing so it would create a new world crossed by its center, while eliminating all obstacles in the way. Thought so. It all makes sense now. To think this ties as far back to the ancient Zemuria civilization. Well, this still connects to everything that SSS went through 3 years ago. Seems that way. You gotta be real twisted to use a creature like that as your last card. It's worse, it used all the chaos that's in Crossroads to grow even stronger than the original. Right here with you at the center. Now we know the root cause behind what's happening in the Reverie corridor. You've probably been trying really hard all this time to keep the problem at bay, haven't you? By using yourself as a key to keep it locked away. I understand now, indeed. The pieces have fallen into place, and now what we know just what it is we're up against. There's not a moment to waste. As I've told you, your efforts are futile. Balance shall be maintained here, so as long as I am here to will it, she will never wake up. She will never be able to cause harm to Zemuria. I'll make certain of that. But where does that leave you? You really up for holding off something that Almighty for eternity? There's nothing more for you to here. You must leave and return to your own world. For you, this space is not but a fleeting dream and illusion. That is how it should be. This is how it should be, as similar in as she did. I am best to wait here inside alone until the end of my days. A dream or illusion. I think you're right to some degree, but be that as it may, are you content with that? What? It's true that once we're back in the real world, we will forget everything that happened here. But you won't. You will still be here, eternally suffering for us. Are you content with suffering? That question serves no purpose. None of this should be happening at all. It shouldn't even be in existence. What reason would you ask that of an illusion? Whether you perceive yourself as real or an illusion doesn't matter. I want to know how you feel. You remind me of how I used to be. How all I cared about was completing the task given to me. Nothing else in the world mattered. That's someone I cared about asked me what I wanted to accomplish, what kind of future I wanted. He wanted those things to matter to me. You remember, huh? So when I look at you, it's like looking into a reflection of my own past. You act as though you accepted this, but is that true, or are you only bringing your true feelings deep inside? I can't just leave and condemn you to living in pain forever, not after seeing who you are. Am I content? I don't. It's okay to want things. I also learn that there are people I care deeply about. All you have to do is hold out your hand, and someone will take it. LP. Why do you care so much about me? I'm just a replica fragment from long lost history, completely detached from you. You would be spared so much trouble by choosing to ignore me. Is it because I have key of space, or because I'm the first OZ? It's because we met you, that's all. Now that we know you, you're part of our lives, and it's perfectly normal to want to help those in our lives. Even if destiny forces us to part ways, I want to at least see you smile before that happens. Besides, you're not just anything. You're an individual who's hurting. We don't need any other justification to go as far as it takes to help you. Yeah, who you were in the past all comes second to that. We want to do what we feel is right. Exactly. That's always been in line with the principles and goals of the SSS. What makes you think you understand me so well? When did I say I was in need? When did I ask you to think of how I feel when? What is this mana? It's resonating with the plumber glass. Her mental state is causing something to awaken. No, I can't let myself think like this. She's going to wake up. You've been trying to lock away your sense of self this whole time, haven't you? But you don't need to do that anymore. You suffer long enough. Leave the rest to us. You don't need to shoulder the burden alone anymore. We're here to carry all, and we can't anymore. Don't worry. Whatever comes of it, we can handle it. Damage wrought by Lisa was always ours to heal. Speak from your heart. Reflection of Zero Child. Tell us what you truly want. Please, stop me. No, stop her. Set her free. Let her finally be at rest. Okay, so... Well, that stuff is... Ugh. What is over the stream of consciousness? It's as though this conveying its very thoughts through pure mana. But this is... We were right. Yeah, we're on the mark. It doesn't look like exactly the same as it did 3 years ago. There's no doubt in my mind. That's a Demiordros. One of the Septarians. This is like the Septarian of Zero or the original. It's more of an incomplete blend of several causalities woven into one. One must be a distorted version of the Septarian of Mirach's original personality. However incomplete it is, it still houses the power of the goddess's gift. This isn't going to be easy, and yet we'll still come out victorious. It could easily go outgrow anyone much else. Genesis Demiordros.
Anomalies detected. Identify yourselves.
It's time to make that little girl's catch come through, and we won't fail. I've become as a final OZ for the line of this. Let's set her free, we have to. There's no stopping now. So you better be ready. I am. Go on, I believe in you. Fight for everything you got so we can make it come through this.
Hostile intent detected. Those who oppose extinction must be eradicated. Activating defense mechanisms. Commencing eradication.
Okay. Oh my god, what the fuck? Miss Valkyrie.
Insolent vermin. May the fires of causality reduce you to ash.
Yep, this is probably going to be the toughest fight ever. Yeah, so Demorges, a Septarian awakened by the convergence of the fervor strands of fate, selling a shell feeds on knowledge from the sea of creation.
Certainly.
Ready yourselves! Valiant move!
Certainly. I am the...
Ready! Be...
My turn. Right.
Oh, also upgraded all their weapons.
Disappear.
Upgrade Lloyd's and what's called Rufus's weapons to their max as well, you know.
That I might again gaze upon the real world. Infinite fates interweaving, disorder, nihility. What a glorious world it is. All who stand before me, raise your voices. Rejoice. I shall drown you in a most beautiful wellspring of despair.
Genocide Demorges is tearing first sharing space. Now out of its shell, it raises its voice and displays omniscience.
Keep it up. I don't mind. Oh.
Get away from me.
All right. These.
Go in! Plan, transform!
Despair.
Ready. Surprise.
Rejoice.
Damn it.
I'll take care of it. Arcus,
Okay!
Yes.
Thanks much.
Despair.
too late. All right.
Keep it up.
On guard.
Oh, you got a problem?
Ready.
Here, now!
It's mine.
I think that's my trash piece.
Despair.
Now it's broke!
Too late.
Damn it.
On guard.
Plan,
Rejoice.
Back tenfold. All right. Arcus,
thanks!
Sing my praises.
Now it's broke!
too late.
I can't fall here.
Thank you. On guard. On guard.
Keep it up.
I'll take care of it. These.
Why not? Oh,
May destruction befall you. Why do you not wish? Why choose freedom? Wish not for the bliss of eradication, and eradication shall be forced upon you. Activating eradication protocols. Be gone from existence. Increasing output. More power required. May I see to the destruction and rebirth of all humans of the post-Zemurian age. Sing my praises. May destruction befall you.
Let's go.
Your recovery time is fucked. And now exerts true power running the logic of this world.
Answer my question.
I'd rather do anything else.
I'm here. Sense. It's my turn. Late.
Sing my praises. Despair. Sing my praises. Despair.
Here to play.
Yep.
Arcus.
Not on my.
Back at you.
Rejoice!
Sorry, everyone. Here to play.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Thank you. Here to play. Ha! Go!
May light shine upon you.
Let's go. Enlightened spirit. I'm off.
Why did you awaken me? Give me rest. 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 Give me rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
More. Give me more of this. This is just...
At this rate, dreadful. Arcus.
Thanks, I guess.
Despair.
I'm off. For one, and one for all. Let's go, everyone.
That was tough. That was really fucking tough.
I am now free from this twisted causality.
Now, that was bullshit, man.
Your efforts from the other side of the distant void made this so. Thank you for granting my wish. Now I may finally be at rest.
We did it. It wasn't easy, but yeah. Well, I'm not so sure we would have been so lucky had it been at its full power. I think drawing out her true feelings is what helped us win. I'll leave that as well. Oh, are you free? I am. My connection between us has been completely severed. So it would seem. I'm in awe of what you have achieved. Who are you people? We're nothing special, really. These people fight for what we believe in. I wasn't feeling so hot about our chance for a second, to be honest. Me too. We had to throw all we had at her, and even then we only just scraped through. Whew, me three. I think I would just cluck out right here if you don't mind. I do mind. What a pitiful sight. You ought to try and follow my example. Not everyone was born with a body incapable of feeling fatigue. I wish I knew what it was like. What an unconventional group you are. I am so glad I chose to believe in you. Rather, I am so glad you let me choose. And I hope I was able to make my predecessor proud. You most certainly did. I feel nothing but happiness to have been given a chance to meet you. Oh no, are we out of time? I am but a shadow of what was. Now my thread of this world has unraveled. I must return where I came. I cannot thank you enough for what you did for us, for setting both me and her free. This is so strange. I never thought leaving this place would make me feel sad, but it does. I'm gonna miss us. We were able to touch your heart, then meaning the battle was even more worth fighting. Once a tyranny that Wee's destiny itself will forever be out of Owl's reach. Humanity may now begin to carve its own path to the great unknown, even if you won't remember that once you leave this place. In that sense, do you feel any regret that your efforts will be for nothing? But it wasn't for nothing. You were able to fix all the problems caused by Elysium. Yeah, we accomplished everything we set out to do. And there's no such thing as justice without purpose. All we did here, you being alive, all had me. Meeting you made me so happy that I hope we can meet again one day. I would like that very much. I chose a new person for myself today. Elysium was the lead and my life was spared. Whatever comes, I have no regrets with my decision. I better just keep following the light, however dim it may appear to be at times. That's the path we believe in for all of us. We don't regret a thing either. And none for me. There's no room for regrets in this journey. We've all already started. Will you me a favor, keep watching over us? Our sisters have built a bright future that we want you to see. I will be watching you from the land of dreams, as you share with me your world of endless possibilities. She's gone. Even her smile was like Kyo's. It really was. I'm glad I got to see it before she went away. Pressure sure is on now, though, huh? Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about that. We'll just keep walking our path one step at a time. It's all progress, yeah. I think this space or the entire corridor is disappearing.
Correct. Confirming that the obstruction located beyond the horizon of the other space is no longer present. The Black Mirror has now claimed full administrative command over processes concerning the Reverie corridor. No continued attempts to interfere with causality detected. The Reverie corridor has served its purpose. Time is 1,238 hours, 21 minutes, 45 seconds since forced reactivation. The Black Mirror may now shut down permanently.
He's off. That makes it really over then. There was so much we had to overcome, but we never backed down for a second. It was worth keeping on together until the very end. And it was. We gained so much from this that ordinary training could never have given us. Van Moore, we should all be proud of what we achieved here. I express my gratitude as well. Your support gave me this time to act as a holy beast once more. We're always here for you, Zyte, and you were just as much our support, you know. Sorry, but I'm still in disbelief that we defeated a being of that scale. It's just a miracle we mortals were able to come out the victor. A miracle owed to each of us for having stood up. Thank you all for fighting with me. I would also like to thank you all for the very same thing. I'm honestly a bit reluctant to leave this camaraderie behind. Even you, Rufus. It sounds like we all feel the same about each other. Knowing that makes me sad, and mutual feelings will be lost once we return to reality. We're all quite aware of that. We could let us bastards glow a bit more, bitches. Ha ha ha. Well, time for us to say farewell. Yes, there's no more delaying the lives we have to return to. For all the trials we endured, I had such great fun following you. I remember, even if our memories fade, the effect of our actions won't. So long as we continue being ourselves, we're doing right by her. Knowing now that we'll be able to show her our everyday lives, this lives makes this a happy thing, not a sad thing. And if we keep it up, I'm sure we just keep living our lives and all the good stuff will come. It's the best possible way to celebrate the bonds we forged. Now it's on humanity's potential. It's not with my parameters, however. As curious as that forged bonds or what awarded strength, seeing that of even calculated predictions. Assessing Reverie Corridor management system, converting database into format that can be maintained in Zemuria. What are you saying? Clearance of the Reverie Corridor cannot be perceived outside of it in an identical manner. It is at most possible to store them within you in the form of a dream, so I believe there will be value in doing so. A dream? You can do that? Wait. But wouldn't that mean? Do you mean we'll remember what happened here? Oh wow, no idea how that works, but I'll take it. It's much better than forgetting it completely. Much, much better. I didn't want to say it, but I was with Laura when she said it made her sad. I had to throw that one out at the last minute to give us a real fairy tale ending. Feels this, huh? I'm guessing it'll be like a dream. The details will be a bit fuzzy on us. Perhaps it's a lovely compromise, sure, to experience states in our hearts. Hard to top that for a parting gift. We are forever in your debt for all the guidance you've given us. Yeah, we really are. Even if I can't help but wonder why you decided to do all this all of a sudden. Oh. Perhaps she must have been active for much longer than she was designed to be. She only for over 1,000 years. It astonishes me she lasted this long. Yet now we bear witness to the ancient endless vigil of everyone coming to an end. Though I am in honor, I am at a loss for what to say. May you find peace in the end of your long journey. In locations, causality have been repaired. Where possible, the contract of the first honor has been filled. Upon termination of all Reverie core processes, all visions shall awaken from their dream.
With this, the long chapter between the Empire and Western Zemuria has come to a close. Yet know that as this danger passes, a greater one looms in its stead. I expect never to reactivate, but my hope is that humanity, joined by their bonds, will make a meaningful choice when the time comes.
He's off. Thank you for everything. Yeah, that's a tough fight. You know, I'm surprised there wasn't a beach party for Rufus's cast. Thank you for playing Joe's into Reverie to the very end. See you again in 1208. Still the main story of shows in Reverie, but you can explore the rest story. Still playing enjoy, including the special ceiling so you just team. You'll also be able to reach out to Jennings and then Zero Sam. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that shit. You could re-challenge the fuck you. I'm not doing that fucking shit. You could re-challenge the Demiurgo role. Oh shit, yeah, no, fuck you, man.
This isn't ideal.
He just said isn't ideal. That's funny as shit. It seems to be a localization issue. Yeah.
Central core activated.
Nothing will stop me. Yep.
Trade phantasmal shards.
I did all that shit under 30 minutes. Fuck this shit, man. I guess I am missing a beast or some shit, but I'm like, literally, fuck you guys. I'm not going through all that fucking shit. So where do I find this shit at? Man, literally, fuck y'all, man. I'm not doing this shit no more, man.
I've only just begun.
Unsealing pedestal activated.
Guess luck is on our side.
Holy shit.
Guess luck is on our side. Guess luck is on our side.
God damn. I didn't even know. I feel like a retard. Beyond a Reverie. Yeah, I'll consider that. Oh, fuck.
Visitors reinvigorated.
I really didn't say
Slab of
anything.
reminiscence activated.
I don't know, let's see what this is about.
The third stage of the Orpheus Final Plan, the Eternal Recurrence Plan. Far from demise, yet farther still from creation. One has but to face the spiral of all, false as it is true, by which the world revolves, to find a facade sincere as it is hollow. If one is to move forward, one must look back. Yet the choice must be done so with peril, for the answers one may not stand to bear.
Come on out. I know you're there.
To think it's been 10 years since you were here last. Not since I bestowed upon you and Lenhart your swords. I would applaud finding your way here without Campanella's guidance. But it may have been a simple task, now that half of your memories have returned.
Sure was. Hell, I think I even got enough to figure out who you really are now. Of course, if I knew for sure, I'd probably have to kiss this form goodbye. It figures. No use pretending what happens in this world's got nothing to do with me anymore, I guess.
I'm afraid not. We will need you to fulfill your role as number 1 for a while yet. It is not number 0 nor any Anguis, but you, and only you, who can act as our guiding bonfire.
Works for me. I've gotten kind of attached to this place, so I don't mind sticking around. So, you got your eye on a new 7th Anguis to replace Steel?
You will meet when the time is right. Though only they may ultimately decide if they are willing to carry such a heavy burden.
Really now?
If I could have a moment.
Well, well, if it isn't the guy who didn't think to ask before screwing around with someone's body.
I would never. How did he find out?
You must forgive me for speaking up like this, Grandmaster. If I may, it concerns a most urgent report. And a question I have for you, McBurn.
Oh yeah?
A simulation I had been reviewing of Elysium's deletion was forcibly terminated. I can only assume it was the work of an unknown party with zero relation to the Society, Foundation, or Church. You wouldn't happen to have an idea of who they would be, would you?
Why would I? Wait, maybe I do. It could be that new group the Oathbreaker was talking about.
The one operating out of Orid?
Pardon me for dropping in like this.
What?
Huh. Don't think you were on the guest list.
What is Calvert's new president doing here? How? Did they get you in here? I saw that logo.
I have no direct connection with them, to be clear. I just had a source put me in touch with them through the CID. Their services didn't come cheap, but there's no easier way to get what you want than throwing a little mirror around. Now, is there?
Oh.
Funny guy.
It's a great pleasure to meet you, Grand Master. And if you don't mind me saying so, I almost get the feeling you were expecting my arrival.
I was. I have reason to believe you will be the greatest obstacle to our next endeavor. Nevertheless, welcome, and congratulations on your recent inauguration.
Why, thank you. Now, I'll make this brief. I come here with a proposal. For the next 2.5 years, I will not interfere in your next undertaking so long as you do not interfere in mine. Do we have a deal?
You!
Oh, wow.
I see. For all your many differences, few share your and the late Chancellor's gift for imposing negotiations. Very well, Mr. President. We shall not interfere in your scheme to test this world's potential for 2.5 years. In return, you will do the same for our eternal recurrence plan.
Excellent. I'm pleased we could come to a swift agreement. All other matters can be dealt with as they come, so long as you do not fall afoul of the Calvardian Constitution.
To be continuing counter Republic awaits. Yeah, that's pretty sus shit, man. He seems very ambitious. He's hardballing the shit out of me, man.
Rendering browsing interface.
Should have known it was him. I thought it was a guy from Trail Sky Second for a second, but no, the guy in the background is him. Yeah, that. Yeah, there's another guy that looks kind of similar to him. These are but minute or minute fragments of memories drifting in an endless ocean, memories of what will be in the near future. Could they be shadows of tangled threads woven by Elysium, or perhaps fey illusions that slip through the cracks of time and space? There are none who know the answer. January year 1217 calendar. Between two great mountains at the tip of the Calvarian Basin sits Longlai, the town known for two things, being the eastern entrance to the Republic and its exceptional hot springs. Through these enticing factors, does it continue to welcome tourists hailing from both home and abroad. It serves guests quite unlike its many unseasoned visitors. These had come from another renowned hot springs paradise situated in the northern regions of Erebonia. The depth of the flavor of food here is just exquisite. Agreed, Phoenix Wing's food is certainly nothing to sneeze at, but I have my doubts that Chief could replicate dishes this unique in taste. The chef. Bishon's inn's reputation continues to precede itself. Baron Tail and Leader Sorger were sampling the inn's culinary delights, spirits high and stomachs filling fast. Their daughter, Release, sat next to them, her spirit a bit lower by comparison as her brows furrowed with concern. I'm sure its luxuries come with just an equally luxurious price tag, and there's four of us, so even 2 nights will cost a small fortune. Upon realizing what she said, she shook her head. I didn't mean to dampen the mood. I know we have the money, but all my budgeting as student council president has made a terrible habit of me seeing the numbers and everything. Her older brother Rean couldn't help but let out a chuckle. Then the budget buster in you will like how much we say, because we're not here as paying customers. We were invited by the owners personally. They said they wanted to get to know us since we were in similar establishment. So here we are, and we'll be inviting them to meet her sooner or later, of course. Right, Dad? Oh, absolutely. And this list of boons coming from our countries finally come to terms with one another. The Republic is reveling in unheard levels of prosperity, and the relations between our people are more active and festive than ever. I, for one, welcome any opportunity to further foster friendship. The Baron took another healthy sip of his baijiu before continuing. Friendship over fighting, I say. It's a shame that the world tends to overcomplicate that simple concept. Seeing your husband's glass was almost empty. Lucia filled it to the brim while adding her own thoughts. That's all the more reason we need to make the most of this invitation, enjoy ourselves to the fullest. The children not in agreement. And even that aside, there's no reason to spoil a family vacation. You don't really have time to take them. Oh, I read about some unusual sweet dishes worth trying here. Would you like to share some with me, Rean? In a bit. I'm thinking of taking another soak in the hot springs, so I might be in the mood for something sweet after. The food here is delicious, but as far as I'm concerned, the hot springs are the real star of the show. That's my boy right there. The ruling lord of the hot springs paradise would never let a good discussion about them pass by. He was fond of their quality and soothing effects, as Rean's enthusiasm undeniably apparent from the warmth of his tone to the wits of his smile. And their medicinal springs happen to be a favorite of mine. I can't help but be fascinated by them time and time again. I can't believe it. I've always known about them, but here's the first place I've been able to feel the way they warm you right to your core. Think we could make one available at the Phoenix Wings? Be worth a try, but that comes with its own obstacles. For as many problems as Tail expressed in practical terms, Rean held just as many proposed solutions. The conversation grew more involved by the minute. The ladies of the house pleasantly basked in their glow and continued enjoying the meal before them. All four felt the same, that it had been too long since they could enjoy each other's company, but the wait had been well worth it. That night, after indulging in his post-dinner soak in the springs and telling his family he was going for a walk, Rean departed the inn. Alright, let's do this. He took in a deep breath, the crisp night air of long life filling his lungs. The hot springs were an excellent bonus to his trip, to be sure, but it was not the real reason he agreed to visit. He had come in search of Yunka Phi, the famed sword hermit. Magic Phi was the founder of the 8 Leagues, One Blade School, of which Rean was a practitioner, and though now over 70 years old, he was still regarded as one of the strongest combatants on the continent. They had not met since before Rean's Roman at Thor's. Many letters changed during the 4 years that followed, but even they had stopped after Rean earned the right to call himself a divine blade over a year ago. There was so very much he wished to discuss with his fucking master what he had learned in his 4 years of training and what had transpired since becoming a divine blade. The true meaning behind being the final blade to master 8 Leagues. There's plenty I'd like to ask that have nothing to do with swordsmanship too. All these questions are impossible to answer without first knowing the whereabouts of a single individual. Even a senior practitioners like Cassius Bright claimed ignorance, having received not a single update from their old master. He had always been an elusive but traceable sort, but wherever he was now, he was next to impossible to track. It was not until a word of a blade master being signed in long line reached Rean's ears. The man held a fondness for the town's specialities, those being the hot springs and its fragrant tea leaves, making deciding worthy of particular note. He also knew from the letters before they stopped that he intended to journey eastward, making Long Line one of the more plausible stopping points. The word came to him just as soldiers were invited to stay at the inn during their New Year vacation. Reasons told him the timing was a little too fortunate, but how vague the lead was, even it would most likely result in him leaving the same as he had arrived. Well, he had not discussed the rumor being key to his traveling here. His family seemed to sense it was more than a simple pleasure trip for him. I know Dad would have a great time catching up with him, but I don't want to get his hopes up for nothing. These thoughts in Rean's mind made his way through the night streets. Long Line's architecture was seemingly Eastern, making it a uniquely intriguing style among most of Kavard's towns and cities. This was not to say it was similar to Crossbell's East Street, which, with subtle colors paired with dignified beauty, every wall and stone exuded the traditional concepts of wabi-sabi. One look was enough to understand the region was rich with history. The quiet charm would give way to contrastingly lively evenings, where tourists both westward and farther eastward were greeted to stalls dedicated to the hot springs and more. This too held a traditional sort of charm. Rean asked several merchants if they had any information pertaining to the whereabouts of his master, somewhat sheepishly purchasing a number of souvenirs from their stalls to keep himself from being a nuisance. They, he justified, would make excellent gifts for his friends, his co-workers, and his students. I can't believe it's almost time for them to graduate. I might be more emotional about theirs than I was for mine. For the first time, Rean would get to experience what it was like for the young birds he had taken under his wing for 2 years to finally leave the nest. The first year had been eventful, to say the least. What started as a problem class full of disagreements and mounting tension had slowly grown into one of compassion and understanding for one another. It was with each new discovery about themselves and every new ordeal the world sought to impose upon them that they grew not only as individuals but as a team. He hoped this period would remain as much a meaningful part of their lives as it would always be for him. The months for the Retributive Tower's appearance held many a trial, making the 10 months that followed in its shadow pass all too quickly. At that time, Rean students continued to mature, building on everything they had accomplished in their first year to prepare for and sell in their desired fucking future. Indeed, whether it was by overcoming their demons or by learning to work with them in a healthier fashion, their paths up to now had been well worn. And while they may have had to rest from time to time, he was proud to be a part of why their steps continued to face forward. Proud but also lonely at the thought of saying goodbye. As the second year drew to a close, lacking in grandiose events, but still rewarding in their own right, it was this mixture of emotions that bore conflict within him the fucking most. Can't believe I'll be going through all that and all over again next year and even the year after that. Hell of a career I chose to pursue, huh? He didn't know when he stopped walking, realizing this. He resumed his search, paying respect in mind to the many generations of educators who came before him. No matter where he looked, he could not find Master Kafai in Longline. It was, however, still too early to say whether the trip had been in vain, as he had at least caught it on a report of the Blade Master being seen in the mountains to the south. Wandering such terrain at night wasn't going to be ideal, but Rean was already firm on spending the next day with his family, and tonight it would have to be making a brief stop to the inn to tuck his souvenirs somewhere secure, in part for his new destination. The mountain winding, half-beaten trails would be more treacherous at night, but they were not off limits as such. The key Rean knew would be to not rely on sight alone. His senses of hearing, smell, perhaps even touch were going to be equally vital in the hours ahead. Calling upon his experience and intellect to heighten all five senses, he took in his surroundings in full. This really takes me back to training in the mountains. To call the experience training will imply his time being one of simple tutelage between student and master, but it equates to so much more. The danger then was far worse than it is now. With some days requiring him to set foot in highly dangerous territories just to find the day's food to survive. It sounded like the Kunlun Mountains may have been used for a similar exercise a long time ago. Rean was certain to think on the information gained during his search as he continued along the trail. Searching for evidence of human activity in an environment like this was not a difficult task. I mean, human presence always leaves something indicative of their presence behind that no wild creature could, be it long dead fire, footprints, or traces of going on a hunt. One need only follow the light to lead to their source. Rean did so, advancing with a caution instilled in him by both his old master and hunting enthusiast of a father. They soon fucking led him precisely to clear evidence that a human had been in the area, though the evidence itself was far from what he expected. Remains of a camp? No, it didn't look like it had been left by martial artists in training or roaming hunters, but the most peculiar thing was that there were multiple sites like the first, all evenly spaced from one to the next. It was as though something was being measured. Maybe this is from a group of scholars doing field research, but seems too large a scale for that. There was nothing more to be found here. Rean then advanced. Soon after, he found another unusual amount of evidence. It's like someone forced their way through here in a car, or more like hacked it open, a path wide enough for a car to pass through. All further inspection here suggested that whoever was responsible had given up on this endeavor, leading him to wonder if they somehow found success elsewhere. And if they did, why had they done this at all? The question pesters him. If there was anywhere to clear wide paths or remote depths of the mountain, certainly was not. But instinct told him he was not only a step away from discovering the answer. If I keep following this trail a little farther, as Rean sensed someone approaching. One person, two people. Yes, there were two. It was clear they were aware of his presence as well. Only for a fleeting second did he think they might be the ones responsible for the strange trails. But deadly tension that now thickened the air told him these were no simple scholars. He felt them draw near, the night veiling themselves well, and then he felt them stop. How about you show yourselves? He spoke without placing his hand on his tachi, signifying to those watching that he had no desire to fight. The Shinobi then silently emerged from the darkest shadows of the mountains. They looked very much like the Shinobi of the East he had heard about, their forms clad from top to bottom in black garments and their faces fully obscured. I see your insight poses a threat after all, Divine Blade of the Empire. The contract of our client has yet to begin, but we will make an exemption for one among their lists of dangerous persons. Achille's in charge. They caught him completely off guard, drawing short, straight blades to attack him as they married in. Fucking bitch. Rean's eyes widened in surprise, but nearly in that same amount, he was in a fight. But nearly in the same moment, he was in a fighting stance, hand over his still sheep tachi. Fifth form, morning moon. He received direction of his soul attacks to evade them, then mount a counterattack of his own. All it took was an instant to repel their assault and leave them vulnerable. Ordinarily, this would be the time to take the offensive, but all Rean could do was stare at the two with disbelief. The thought entered my mind as I saw you move, but now that we've crossed blades, he paused, listening to his eyes giving way to a more intent gaze. Are you practitioners of the 8-leaf school? Another pause as time for Achilles before answering, as though they were well aware the question was coming. No, though we do possess ties to school, we are of Ikaruga, practitioners of the Black God, one blade school. What? The what? Rean was left stunned. Two Ikaruga held their blades horizontally, ready to thrust him forward at any moment. It was as though they wanted to make clear that while they had been caught off guard once, he would not. No, they had been caught off guard once. He would not be fortune type. Rean responded by assuming the middle stance was his tachi. But just as his sides were only a beat away from engaging in battle, what could only be described as a black cyclone roared from the darkness at that speed. that it seemed to certain to slice anything it touched. Its appearance caught Rean by surprise. More than initial attacks by silhouettes, he had not suspected an attack from that angle, that distance, or even that moment. His enemies, on the other hand, did not so much as flinch at the sight. The approaching blade over an arc and a half in length was heading directly for Rean's back. He couldn't possibly dodge it now. Perhaps he should have noticed. Perhaps it was impossible to notice. Whatever the answer, the divine blade of the Empire would soon fall. It showed his way in for his final moments to be convinced of no other fate in his future. When Rean spun his body in a full circle, applying intensely built into his body from the motion of a swing. The blow made was weight yet precise, shifting the incoming blade to a new direction without mitigating its near overpowering force. This technique was an application of the first form, Helix. There was no greater course in the moment than to use it to redirect the attack without ever making contact. The spinning blade was now significantly off its intended course. A ring slashed at it again, birthing a shockwave that further shifted its path, and the blade went flying hairs to the night, right of the direction it had come from. A hand was there to deftly catch it in midair. Oh, I got stuff. You may have only recently taken the towel, but you are worthy of being called a divine blade. All the same, you used the unclouded eye well. From this hand emerged a new figure from the darkness. While he was clad in similar garments to the silhouette, something about his presence was much more inspired by comparison. His musculature was thoroughly discernible beneath his body, covering fortified suit. His every movement, however slight, reflected a complete lack of hesitation. In the faint light of his eyes, visible through his mask, projected no emotion whatsoever, you bitches. The man possessed the aura of a true fucking warrior. One projected only by those who have fought more battles than was possible to count. Fall back, he's too formidable a foe for you to handle. The shadow slid into the darkness in an instant. Only the new arrival was left to face Rean. I need to know, who are you and why did you attack me? Our contract forbids disclosure of such information. You will leave this place now, fledgling divine blade. The tone was not one of advice nor one of an order. No, it's not. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. It was as if the man were stating a fact. His calmness veiled an undertone of malice that told Rean what would happen if he did not do as was told. I'm afraid I can't do that without an explanation. Not when I haven't found what I'm looking for. I understand then. There was no longer anything to discuss. All they could do was battle. I, Kurogane of the Rogetsu school, shall be your opponent. Kurogane stood at attention. The large blade he had thrown for now pointed. I'd rather settle this with words. I would rather settle this with words, but I can see that's not an option. Rean sighed, taking his own stance in turn. Then Rean's sword emerged 8 leaves, 1 blade, school, 7 forms shall be yours. Divine blade moved instantly. The bizarre weapon Kurogane wielded was less akin to a sword and more 4 equally sized blades arranged in the shape of a cross. Their blade bases connected to a single fucking point. Though he could direct this large weighted shuriken as though it were a simple child's toy, he spoke volumes about how strong he was. Still, even if it was not infallible, for it was not one to be ideally used in close range combat. Kurogane appeared to have no other key weapons on hand either, meaning that if Rean could force him to fight where he would be at his most disadvantaged, he would be very likely to come out to victory. This was what he had in mind when choosing to act first. Second form, Gale, bitch. He closed the gap between him through his blade and made a wide swing toward his opponent in the blink of an eye. Kurogane blocked the blow with ease. That, however, meant nothing in the large scheme of things. Rean knew well this man's capability. So long as the gap between them was closed, and it was, he considered the attack a success. But just as he thought he would be able to push on onward and overpowered spell by Malik, a newly fierce soul. Rean split his cross-shaped shuriken in half. The ease at which he did made clear this was intended by design. Dual blade crow. He can wield dual sabers. Yeah, except he can use them both hands. There was no hiding his attack. In the West, dual sabers were seen as relics from Dark Ages that were difficult to utilize. Crow was the only person Rean knew who was competent with one, and only one. The skill it would take to use two was almost too difficult to fathom. His surprise created an opening that Kurogane was not going to let pass unexploited. Possessing twin two-ended blades allowed the shinobi to perform considerable more strikes than Rean gave him. Give him no chance to push back. Steel sparked as their weapons clashed. Kurogane was dominant for some time, but he could do nothing to bolster his advantage. With striking spark after striking spark, the advantage was moving back to Rean. This was in part due to him being used to fighting this weapon. This was in part due to him being used to fighting this weapon that defied. I can't say. It was in part due to him being used to fighting with this weapon that defied rationale. Yeah, the grammar's really fucked, but it was also because he had been given time to find what he was looking for, the perfect range in which to attack. Dual sabers were forged with a shorter reach, and they appeared to have something inevitable due to their handles being in the middle. It could have been because he used them as shuriken, but the length of Kurogane's aim was even shorter than Crow's, meaning Rean would have to adjust with a longer length of his blade. He measured patiently, staying only just out of Kurogane's reach and evading the onslaught to be a hair's breadth each time prior to countering. Yeah, it was calculated quickly thanks to Kurogane's frequent rapid attacks, meaning all Rean had to do now was wait for the right fucking moment, he's fucking bitch. This moment would come in the form of his opponent showing impatience for this stalled battle, driving him to take an unneeded step forward. Rean evaded the strike perfectly. Strike expertly. Rean evaded the strike expertly and was instantly turning it with an upward diagonal slash. The forceful swing of his touch, he made contact with the handle of Kurogane's own sword length and knocked it out, clean out of his hand. Rean dashed forward to make use of his available opportunity. But after only a flicker of bewilderment, Kurogane moves to deny him. He blocked Rean's attack with the double saber still in his hand. Then hurled hitting kunai with his free hand, jumping backward a significant distance while doing so. Very good bind blade. Fuck. Vibe blade of Empire. Kurogane's spear was now gone. Nothing stood where Rean's opponent had just stood. He had to take his eyes off him. Never eased himself for a moment. Kurogane was nowhere to be seen. How he moved that quickly was some sort of special translocation, but there was no signs to indicate either one. Was it that he never moved at all and was still there unseen? That wasn't either. Double blade saber had repelled. Rean had repelled the ground was gone. I can still sense him, so he hasn't gone far. Rean suppressed the panic, well gut within, honing his senses a second time. There was never a black cyclone stroll toward him from the shadows. Gotta affect something of this nature, so with little deviation, he was able to deflect it as he did the first time. Kurogane had read some of his shuriken after recovering it. It's lost half so he could throw it again. It also indicated, together with a slight change in his surroundings, where he was now positioned. Rean needed a little more time. We need a little more time to know where he was first started. But ahead of making a solid conclusion, the cyclone came at him yet again from a new angle. That was fast, though. He blocks his attack as well as the last blow. He could fully correct his posture. The next cycle appeared. The gap between was getting shorter and shorter. The time was shorter and shorter and ever shorter. Soon these associated smaller cyclones were seemingly growing into a blending grand storm of death with Rean trapped at its center. This doesn't feel like I'm being attacked by a single person. Did he make phantom copies of himself? He had no idea from where the next cyclone would have formed. And by the time he could locate, the next one was ready. Even the account eye wasn't going to be enough for him to deduce Kurgan's location. He had been able to repel every blade that was met so far, but that was growing increasingly difficult. I didn't want to use it, but I'm not sure if I have a choice. Well, where what was doing was place him in danger. Rean took his mind off the battle. He gave up blocking and evading attacks and dedicated the bare minimum of his focus to not staying lethal blows, but was his mind inward. He focused on the power that he had long cultivated inside him, the power he had feared, Lord rejected, the power he now relied on, desired, and nearly certain himself to, the power he faced with his levels at his side, making it a part of himself. With his mind clear as day, he reached his full strength. Enlightened spirit unification. He imbued his Tachi with great power surging out of him, crying as the allies did so. The spinning of his body forcefully around to create a blade circle around him. The energy released by his Tachi repelled all forthcoming shuriken with ease, and with them, Kurgan phantom copies lurking in the darkness faded to nothing. With that, there you are. He charged toward Kurgan. The man was thoroughly overwhelmed by Rean's sudden counterattack, throwing him completely off balance. There was nothing he could do to repel what would come next. Time to sell this. Rean swung his touch downward while pouring all of his might into a final sequel strike. But just as the two felt the battle was coming to an end, zero form duality. And coming from a voice as beautiful as the bell was a slash tearing through the sky. They were so black it threatened to eclipse the moon. It effortlessly stopped Rean's weapon from reaching its target. But that wasn't all. What? With a high-pitched sound, Rean's blow Tachi was sundered cleanly into Princess. Kurgan was also taken back by this new arrival. I heard what was happening from both our scouts. You could have invited me to join the fun instead of keeping it all to yourself. The words as she shot Kurgan indicated dissatisfaction, but the music of her tone betrayed her excitement. Rean was made to see who his mysterious figure was. And the sight of her alone took his breath away. She was young, wearing a fortified suit that looked to be a marriage of classical and modern Eastern styles, with long silver hair that almost appeared to glow in the pale moonlight. Her age was likely close to Rean's, perhaps a little younger, with well-defined features, but that still held traces of adolescence, apparently striking in contrast to the empty void behind her eyes. There was an air of a young noblewoman who had been sheltered from impurities all her life, and a stench of a baleful warrior who had bathed in the blood of countless lives. How she was both and neither at once, Rean could not understand, but it was this very quality that made her all the more captivating and dangerous. And the woman's left hand was a large black and gray blade that had threatened to freeze him for daring a glance at it. No doubt it was what happened Rean's Tachi moments ago. What did Rean fumble for words as he clutched the useless handle tightly in his hand? The fair-haired woman only smiled as she looked down upon it. Your weapon was very fine, but it was never any match for my friend, I'm afraid. She spun a black blade in her hands around gently before holding it up toward the night sky, seemingly displaying pride. It's hard to see why she would boast about possessing such a weapon. He had seen many a blade of historical significance, but instinct told him that her was better than any of those. The blunt side featured an intricate design of deep gray that, while he could not discern its meaning there and then, he knew nothing less than was less than work hard. There was an aura about it, one closed his eyes that seemed to reject its worldly surroundings, making it capable of cutting through anything it so desired. No, sorry. It came in company with a beautiful hilt of deep red that contrasted his body without feeling out of place. This juxtaposition was, in a sense, much a reflection of his wielder, with their two opposing natures being distinctive yet also as one. Rean thought as he observed her blade was clearly something special, but that alone did not explain the strength behind her attack. He had never heard of the technique she used, but it was certainly connected to 8 leaves in some way, and the skill she showed when executing it made her equal to a divine blade. He was so fixated as these thoughts rushed through his mind that he was only brought out by her. His mind that he was only brought out by her son Laster. I didn't think I'd ever meet you here. I wonder if our old master is guiding us to the same place, or if it's just a happy coincidence. Wait, the manner in which she spoke and her familiar Rean gave him a theory. The thing you just used was really something. Consider me intrigued. It's put you a league above, more interesting than our senior practitioners, so he was right. Are you... But before he could hear what he already knew, she turned away, refused to let him finish the question. He isn't here, so why don't you go run back to your family? Go and make the most of your vacation. Just don't let your skill of a blade slip. The world will need it again one day. She spoke with a certain satisfaction as she pointed down to the other half of his broken blade, and then she leaped high, seemingly disappeared on the other side of the moon. Rean could only stare dumbfounded as she vanished. He couldn't even speak. Gravani left with her. Be careful. The Ikuruga, the Black God, one blade school, and our senior practitioners. Rean had been unable to fulfill his objective, and not just that, he was left with countless new fucking questions about the people he encountered and bounded itself. He felt there was no meaning behind being guided to this specific place, but how important it was or what it entailed, he did not know. And yet, the person responsible for discerning that won't be me. Looking down at his broken Tachi, he was shook anew of how massive the world truly was. And he realized that now that his master was confirmed to be elsewhere, the purpose of his visit alone was nothing more than to enjoy a wonderful, ordinary vacation with his family. His meaning here was but a peculiar coincidence, for now at least. When I get back, I'll need to report my Tachi and myself. Something stirred in this region all across Calra, but there was nothing he could do about it as he was. All he could do was all he could focus on was training and bettering himself so he could one day play a part against the next threat that loomed over the distant horizon. New resolve welling his soul, he made his way through the now still mountain trail back to where his loving family awaited. Man, that's something, man. Another hot springs paradox to the end. So I believe what the guy said, face to be my strongest form. Well, that's all for this one, guys. Brunson there, 3 out. Peace for you. Then who? You have a damn good one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.